Thank you so much for joining us, gentlemen. And we're going to start by taking a look at the last series of the week, which was H2K versus Splyce. H2K, they had already won their first series of the week versus OG. Up versus Splyce, it could have been an equal fight, but H2K dominated them.
It was disappointing from Splyce, really, when you look at it. I mean, we expected so much more. H2K just tore them apart. As soon as we look at the in-game, just H2K were drawing them around the map time and time again. Big fights going all H2K's way.
Is it safe to say that OG was a harder opponent than Splyce?
I mean, we discussed, but in terms of where the gold was at 20 and 25 minutes, maybe. You're not going to offer any more analysis.
Nah, I just thought it was funny to comment.
That was funny indeed.
Well, we saw Febiven in Game 1 going off pretty heavily. Perkz, your thoughts on his performance? I mean, Game 1, the Jace. What do you think?
I think he's playing really insane. Or like, he's playing really good. He's playing how he's supposed to play. He's playing, I think him and Sjokz are really good mid jungle. Like, together, they play really good around pressure and around where to move or when to gank. I think Sjokz is like really good at ganking too. So they're a really good duo, I think. And that's why they will be a really strong team.
Sjokz was also player of the series, especially awarded by Perkz also. So he'll thank you for that. One final thing maybe about Splyce. We saw them in their first match. Really not a good showing, Mithy. Why do you think that was and how do you think they can evolve?
I think they just got frustrated as soon as they lost their first 1 or 2 kills, but I really thought Splyce was going to put up a better showing than what they did today.
I think in Game 1, like, draft was not so well done by Splyce, so it's like kind of an excuse for them to lose the game. But I think in Game 2, the draft was pretty good and they had like everything they needed to win the game. Was just they had a good comp, they had a good 1-3-1, they had good after level 6, but they just fell too far behind. And after level 6, they did some poorly plays. How Fabiano to like Katarina, he didn't play the matchup as he was supposed to play, I think, and he tried to force too much, so he got punished for it. And I think after that, it was really hard for him to come back. So mid-jungle of H2K was just pressuring them up.
Much stronger in the first week. Splyce will have to go back to the drawing board. I do want to highlight another matchup we saw here, the very first one of the week. G2 Fnatic. This is now 2 days ago for you guys, 2-1. What were your thoughts, Mithy, now that you've had some time to think about
it? That's exactly my thoughts. That's really exactly my thought, because I really didn't, like, the games were so messy, there was so much action, and it was really...
fun to watch, though, if you guys want to rewatch it.
It was really fun to play, too, actually.
I think, for me, it was like I was extremely nervous this series, and here I'm seeing myself getting a bit outplayed. But here, in my excuse, I didn't know I was in turret range, so there was like someone played the turrets to be a bit longer range.
Right.
So that's a bit unlucky. And overall, the series was really insanely hype. I think both Millers were like kind of nervous because I played really bad, or I played good after lane, but I played really poorly, and Perkz didn't play at his level what he's usually used to, so it's like...
Perkz is better, is you're saying? Perkz is better than what he did?
Yeah, Perkz is really insane, but he just didn't show it yet.
I'll write that down on our list.
That's a good meme. And I think Game 2 and 3 were like so messy, so I had no clue what was going on.
Yeah, we were even
to
the old Fnatic backdoor with the rise from Caps. You've heard, Perkz, your thoughts on Caps. Mithy, quick thoughts on Jez's return to the Rift?
Oh, he played well in those games. They had a bad matchup every game, and they did fine. But the matchups, like I was saying earlier, like when we were talking about matchups on bot lane, they just had a bad matchup, and at some point they lost their tower. But he did fine overall.
All right, well, it was a very interesting one to watch. If you're going to rewatch one of the matches this week, you should certainly watch Fnatic G2 again. And another one we want to highlight is the Unicorns of Love versus Vitality. Just because the Unicorns of Love, they had a game plan and they broke the mold in terms of picks and bans.
Again, trying to break a little bit of the meta game we had in the 10 pick and ban phase, at least for the Unicorns. You know, they let the Rengar through, picked the Ivan, picked a bunch of shields in response. Unicorns always exciting and did not let anything down against Vitality.
Unicorns of Love 2-0 in their week. We had a post-game interview this week also with Febiven of H2K, who said that Unicorns of Love were very, very good, possibly the second best in that group. Perkz and Mithy, what do you guys think?
Well, we haven't played Unicorns much in scrims, I think, but I think they are a good team, like really good team, and they have good players on every role. I think Sjokz is a good jungler. Like, he's surprisingly good for a rookie. He's not like he doesn't play as like any rookie's like contract, who was like carrying alone by solo queuing. But I think Sjokz is like a more controlled jungler. He plays like really smart and really good around the pressure.
Mithy facepalmed at that Camille.
Oh my god, I didn't watch that game. Like, oh, that hurt. Oh,
Yeah.
it felt like a stab on the,
Well, Vizicachi was the player of the series also in that one. He did get his hands on Camille in game 2, so that's always good. Short,
Yeah.
maybe Vitality. Where do you guys see that team going this split?
It's always strange, right? Like you always think, oh, Vitality, they're gonna be so good, and then they end up 7th place. So maybe it's safe to say 7th place now. I'm not sure.
Maybe Hachani can whip him into shape as we get further, but still a lot more to see from
Yeah,
Vitality.
I heard
for
that
sure.
Hachani is insane. So
Yeah.
so maybe he can bring the team and teach them all how to play the roles, and then when everyone knows how to play the roles and how to pressure with the map and how to not play for kills or play for outplays like Cabocher is trying to do and play for pressure and smart play, I think they can be a good team.
Yeah,
Because they have good players.
They have good players. We have a lot to look forward to. All the teams are evolving. We're going to take a look at the standings after 1 week of competition as they are ranked in terms of series wins. G2 has 2 of those for now. H2K has 2 of those. Then Misfits, Unicorns of Love, each one, and the rest of the teams don't have any wins yet. What is standing out for you for the standings for now?
One thing standing out, it doesn't quite come from the standings, but Misfits a little underwhelming in their first performance. Giants looked a lot better than people were giving them credit for, so we need a couple more weeks of play to see exactly where the newcomers to the EU LCS can find themselves later on in the split.
Mithy and Perkz, when you look at these standings after week 1, is this somewhat to be expected, most of the things?
I think it was pretty much like drawn out to be that way. I mean, if we can safely assume that we were going to win our game, right?
Yeah.
Then yeah, I think that's probably like what everyone wrote off for the standings to be if G2 would win the first game.
All right, well, all plans so far. Look forward to what's coming up in week 2. It's a super week because we love those and we miss them so much. So many games, and let's see at G2. You guys are facing Misfits, so how do you think that's gonna go? They are the new and coming quite hyped team.
Well, Misfits kind of remind me like G2 1 year ago, coming from Challenger Series with 2 Koreans and 3 rookies. I think, they're Power Rival, which is not a rookie. They're like good top and AD, and they're like a pretty interesting team. I think they're not like super good right now, but they have quite how is it called, potential to be good. And I think they're not gonna be like an easy opponent, but I think right now we will probably have the upper hand.
I actually didn't realize until now that I'm playing against my whole team, like my whole old team from Origin.
Yep.
Until now that we're actually all in the same group.
Yep.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I just went to another
Something
funny,
to look forward to.
Another funny thing to talk about.
So funny.
The real
What
standard
a funny
match,
fact, guys.
Unicorns H2K on Saturday. That's going to be a great match.
That's going to be a fantastic match indeed. Now, we are going to dive a bit deeper into week 1 with some rookies to watch and the 10-ban meta with our guests. So if you're joining us in client, be sure to hit up youtube.com/LOL Esports for the extended edition of the post-game lobby.